Go back to your childhood for a moment and think about the most memorable characters. Chances are they were brought to life by some of the greatest performers alive. From Cal Dodd to Peter Cullen, our childhood icons are icons for a reason. Locked in. What's good, y'all? And today, we're here to celebrate our childhood, celebrate voices, and just all around great performers. I've been wanting to make this video for a minute because I've been having so many great conversations surrounding voice acting, the voice acting industry, and heck, just going to conventions to just see the lines for some of these phenomenal performers is insane. This year I went to MomoCon Atlanta with some of my friends, and Steve Bloom was there, good friend of mine, love Steve. But dude, when I tell you I stood in that line for like 3 hours, I was like, Steve, I love you and I want to say hey to you because it's been a minute since we've seen each other in person, but your line is killing me. And each day his line was just packed out. MomoCon was, I think it was from Friday through Monday, yeah. And he was there Friday through Sunday. And each day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, his line was packed to the brim. They had to close it off when it got to closing time. It was so bad. And it's just crazy to think about the power and the influence all of these performers have in our lives. Steve has done the voice of Wolverine for what, like 20 years? Spike Spiegel, Starscream, and a bunch of stuff. Tom from Toonami, only on Toonami. Like, dude, like, he has such an incredible resume. Yuri Lowenthal was there. Ben 10, Spider-Man, Richard Horvitz, Invader Zim. Like, these performers have long lines and continue to work in this industry for a reason. If they aren't childhood icons, then no one is, because it is just insane to see them go to con after con, do project after project, and kill it and bring the thunder each time. But that goes to show the importance of casting a proper voice actor. What's a voice actor? Well, if we go to Webster's dictionary, it classifies a voice actor as an actor who performs voiceovers or voices characters in animated movies, video games, all that fun jazz. And there are so many voice actors, and if it's one thing that my interviews have shown is that there are so many talented performers out here who give it their all time and time again. But the real power lies with what voice actors are tasked to do. A lot of the times I hear voice acting described as alchemy, and alchemy is the process of bringing something from nothing. And I tend to agree with that a lot, because a lot of the times voice actors are charged with bringing these characters to life by just reading some slides or just looking at an image, and they bring to life some incredible characters. Jim Cummings comes to mind as he's brought characters to life such as Darkwing Duck, Pete from the Goofy movie, and hundreds and hundreds more. That guy is a legend. Or Corey Burton, or hell, Peter Cullen himself, bringing to life the iconic role of Optimus Prime. They are our childhood icons, and then there are generational icons who transcend just making memories and have been there for our childhood. No, they have like changed the course of pop culture and what it means to be a performer. And that's Peter Cullen. Every time I hear an interview that Peter does, every time I hear him play the character, is another great day on Earth. It's so awesome to see them do such a great push with the 40th anniversary table reads and doing the interviews between Peter and Frank, and to just hear their stories and to hear what these characters mean to them. Optimus Prime is based off of his brother. He's told this story tons and tons of times, and he talks about the iconic line about what his brother said. I'm trying to remember it here. If not, I'll just insert a video clip.
When I voiced Prime for the very first time, I was living with my brother Larry. He was a Marine, and I said, I'm going to an audition. I'm going to be a truck. And he started laughing. He said, a truck? And I said, this is a leader. This is a hero. And his demeanor just changed. He just went, well, Peter, if you're going to be a leader, be strong enough to be gentle.
To know that every time Peter plays the character of Optimus Prime, he is imbuing not only what Optimus means to him, but he's channeling his brother. Someone that inspired him, someone that fought for this country, someone that really changed Peter's life. And when you have that type of reverence and type of energy when you're playing a character, you can't beat that, right? Chris Hemsworth, of course, played Optimus Prime, but if you tell me Chris is better than Peter Cullen, you're lying. You're lying. Did Chris Hemsworth do a good, okay job? Yeah, he did. But it is not Peter Cullen. It can't. It literally cannot be Peter Cullen. Peter has so many years, decades worth of history with this character. He brought this character from nothing. He is an alchemist. So many of these phenomenal voice actors are alchemists, and it is a true talent that not everyone has. I was just listening to this episode, speaking of Jim Cummings again, his podcast Tuned In, and he did an episode with Chris Judge, who of course plays Kratos in the newest God of War games, and I think he describes this perfectly.
I wanted to bring it around to voice work. You've done obviously a lot of voice work as well.
Not really.
Yeah?
Not really.
Do you remember your first voice role?
Well, that's crazy. He's got these great pipes. You know,
Something, I always want, because it always comes off weird when I say it. I always say I'm not a voice actor. Like that's a separate talent. Mm-hmm. That's not just having a good voice.
Mm-hmm. Well,
that
that's
is
true.
being able to craft these characters out of basically nothing.
Yeah.
You create characters.
Oh yeah.
It's not just about being able to talk deep.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I
agree.
think
You're right.
that I'm like, no, I'm saying I bow down to voice actors because I don't possess that ability. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. It sounds pretty good over here, but I know what you're saying. Well, you know, my buddy Jess Harnell has a good way of putting it. He goes, when it comes to being a voice actor, it's a small V, but it's a capital A. You know, so because you know people
Absolutely.
You know,
It is a rare talent that not all performers have, and that is okay. That is 100% okay that actors do not have that. But the issue comes in when you get these performers that do not have the same longevity, care, and love for the character, and bring them in and expect me to just be like, oh my gosh. Super Mario movie, for example. Chris Pratt is Mario. Now, I know there was controversy with this casting, but when the movie came out, was it any better? No. It wasn't. It kind of confirmed my fears, to be honest with you. My issue with that is Charles Martinet is the same thing. He is an alchemist. He helped bring the iconic character that is Mario. Now, of course, there is longevity and care and reverence and love that this franchise brings to millions around the world. And part of that is due to the phenomenal talents of Charles Martinet. Of course, he chose to retire on his own, but honestly, I would have loved for Charles to play that character until he couldn't do it anymore. I recently saw him at a con in Atlanta, and looking at him and seeing those two characters and hearing him do that, let's go! It just brought my heart so much joy. I think that's one of the coolest things about conventions is to see the voice actors there and see them do the voices and to see them get all the love and praise and respect that they deserve for bringing so many of these iconic characters to life. That character means something to Charles. Same way with how Optimus means something to Peter. Kevin Conroy. That saying Kevin Conroy is gone does not feel right to me. I made a post about this on his birthday, but that just, something about saying that doesn't sit right in my spirit. Because whenever I think of Batman, I immediately go to Kevin Conroy. Like, immediately. Whenever I'm reading a comic book, sometimes I'll hear Kevin just reading the lines as Batman. That's how much he and his legacy and what he brought to Batman is embedded into that character for me. And I know I'm not the only one that feels that way. He's played Batman for decades in video games, animated movies, the animated series. He's played him over and over again, and he brings it every time. And part of the reason for that is because of what Batman means to Kevin. Of course, Kevin Conroy was a member of the LGBTQIA+ community, and he talked about being bullied and picked on and harassed because of his sexuality. And he talks about how all of that pain, that hurt, helped him bring to life the Batman that we all know and love today. The voice that makes Batman so iconic, stand above the rest. He used all of his personal experience to make a character that has, I will say, has saved lives. The power that voice actors have, that true performers have, cannot be understated. The power of the arts cannot be understated, and how it expands our minds, helps us live a long and full life. And the childhood icons from Peter Cullen to Kevin Conroy to Cal Dodd has helped save lives, has helped bring joy to millions. And they deserve to be respected and applauded for that. I am so happy that they brought back Cal Dodd for Wolverine and X-Men 97. Laura Zane as Rogue, George Buza as Beast, because their voices mean something to so many who grew up with the original 90s series, and to hear their voices have not even changed that much, and to hear them bring it as it was the first day that they recorded the 90s series, brought a gigantic smile on my face every time I watched X-Men 97. Would X-Men 97 have been as good without the original voice casting? Maybe. But I don't want to live in a world where I know that answer. I love the world I live in now that I know that the original OG voices came back, kicked ass, and made a phenomenal season. And they're gonna do it again with season 2. Because these characters mean something to them. Laura Zane talked about how during the recording sessions for Rogue and X-Men 97, a family member of hers passed away, and how she imbued so many of those emotions, that anger, that frustration into Rogue, and how Rogue helped her express all those emotions. And it made Laura was the star of X-Men 97. That performance sends chills down my spine. No joke. I don't want to live in a world where Laura Zane didn't give that phenomenal performance and imbued such strong emotions into that character. There's something to be said about actors who use their own experience to bring these characters to life so eloquently. Peter using his brother, Kevin Conroy using his experience as a queer man, Laura Zane using her real life pain and anguish to bring such a phenomenal performance to this character. Cal Dodd talks about how Wolverine is like a brother to him. He loves that character. In his words, wherever he goes, he's going. He loves this character, and you can tell he does. I hear arguments all the time about retiring and how all these voice actors should retire and stuff, and I feel like there's a misunderstanding about voice acting. Yes, people naturally get older, but to just disregard them and disregard the great work that they can still put in with the character is absurd to me. I hear calls online all the time for Peter Cullen to retire, and it's just so frustrating because he was fantastic in Rise of the Beasts. Like, you can't take that away. He was so good in that movie. He was fantastic. He was so good in that. And to see people use that performance, where there's some spotty parts, sure, but y'all never want to call out the spotty parts of these celebrities who take on these roles. Oh, they were good. Sure, they were fine. But I could only imagine how much that performance would be bolstered by a pro voice actor who's been doing this for decades. While people weren't saying that Charles Martinet should retire from the role of Mario, people were arguing the point that they were like, oh, I don't want to hear Charles Martinet say, let's go 24/7 when performing Mario. Are y'all that dense in y'all understanding of how voice acting works, how voice actors work? Did y'all know that Charles Martinet did Mario's father in that movie and he sounded completely different? He did voices for the Skyrim game, sounds completely different. You don't think that Charles Martinet could have brought his epic talent and changed up how he did Mario in the film? Do y'all not understand how voice acting works that much? There's a reason that these performances stick in our minds forever. That performance in Mask of the Phantasm with Kevin Conroy as Batman plays in my mind when he's grieving to his parents. He ate that role up. Only an actor as brilliant as Kevin Conroy could have brought that scene to life. But no, let's just downplay all the other voice actors, all the other childhood icons who've been playing these roles for decades and know these roles like the back of their hands. Let's get a celebrity to do it. Get out of my face. I'm so glad to see conventions. I'm so happy to see so many fans even do their own interviews and giving the respect and due credit and celebration to these phenomenal voice actors. They deserve all the love, respect, and reverence from us that they bring to these roles. I'm so tired of all these arguments of saying, oh, they should retire. I'm sick of Hollywood always wanting to cast these celebrities and not seeing the gold and the alchemist that they have right in front of them that can arguably bring a better product than a celebrity would. When a celebrity does a voice acting role, it can be good, it could be cool, but that's not their wheelhouse. You know whose wheelhouse it is? Rob Paulson, Steve Bloom, Cal Dodd, Peter Cullen, Kevin Conroy, Frank Welker. That's their wheelhouse. Let them play. Show them the respect and love that they show to not only fans but these characters, and have brung banger performances time and time again. But anyway, y'all, that's how I feel. Give our childhood icons the credit they deserve. They deserve all of it, man. From the performances, how they treat fans, to how they really truly care and embed how they embed so much of their own personal experience into these characters. They deserve all the love, credence, and respect. And I'm tired of Hollywood not giving it to them. But that's what I'm here for. That's what this platform is for. That's what the interviews are for. And that's ultimately my goal for the future. It's to shed light on these talents that don't necessarily get it, who are downplayed a lot, even by fans, even by people online who don't understand how voice acting works in its whole. That's why I'm here, baby. I'm going to show y'all what voice acting is. I'm going to show y'all why voice acting is important. I'm going to show y'all why it's important that we put these incredible performers, these alchemists, and we show and display their talents fully. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'd love to have a conversation in the comment section down below. What do you think? Who are some of your childhood voice icons? Let's show the love. Let's share some flowers. Let's make this in the comment section. Just show all these childhood icons some love, baby. I'd love to see it. As always, y'all, peace, love, safety. Until next time.